A swipe to the right on a dating app can promise new love, but meeting a stranger online can also be dangerous. We have no idea of someone's dating or criminal history. A new safety code is trying to stamp out violent and abusive users. But does it go far enough? Cyber safety expert Susan McLean spent 27 years in the police force and joins me now. Susan, how dangerous can dating apps be?
That can be very dangerous because, as you said in the introduction, you do not know the history of the person you are swiping right or left with. And if you then decide to meet them, you only have their word to take for that they're a decent human being.
So this new code to make sites like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge and Grindr safer, do you think it'll work?
Look, it's better than nothing. I would like to think that the platforms would have wanted to do this rather than being forced to do it, which is what they're being forced to do. They've all agreed to voluntarily come together to try to make their platform safer. Now, in theory, that is doable and it will be an improvement, but it's not going to fix everything, and the proof will be in the pudding. It's very easy to say you'll do something, but are you actually going to do it?
Yeah. You just made the point that it's voluntary. I think about 75% of apps have signed up, but it is hard to see how it has any real clout. Like, for instance, if someone is reported for serious abuse, does the app then pass on that information to police?
Well, that's where it's quite confusing because there are mechanisms on other platforms. If we're talking about child abuse material being reported, it is automatically a police report that is generated. Now, that's a little bit different when a child's involved because for that type of crime, we don't need the victim to start with. But if it's an abuse of an adult, well, the victim really has to come forward. So in theory, if they make the report to the police and the police have to find the victim and then have a conversation with them, that's doable, but it's also quite messy.
Another thing I was thinking too, I mean, what's to stop an abusive person setting up multiple accounts under fake names?
Oh, of course. I mean, if you've just got out of jail for a violence offence or any offence, you're hardly going to put that in your bio that your last known address was a jail. You're certainly not going to admit to having a violent history. And I am not sure how these platforms are going to identity verify anyone because, for my mind, they can't.
So at this point, there is nothing in place to stop convicted criminals from joining dating apps and not making their criminal history known to whoever they're talking to.
Correct, because when you sign up, you know, there is an acceptance or you are meant to be truthful. Right? That is what they hope for. And of course, we know that people with ill intent are not the most honest people, so they're going to lie. But there is no way that the dating platform or the app or the website, whatever it is, will actually know the truth unless that offender comes forward. I would like to hope that if other users of the platform notice an offender on it and they flag that account, that will be actioned very quickly.
I mean, you just have to be so careful, don't you, Susan? I mean, it's kind of why I miss the good old days, right, of meeting someone at the pub. But even with this new safety code, it feels like dating apps can never truly be safe.
Nothing can be truly safe. This code goes some way to make them safer, but it's still going to be down to the user to try to protect themselves and to take as many steps as they can to verify the identity of the person they're matching with, and through Google, it's always good old Google, to see what you can find in this person's history. Again, if they're using a fake name, you'll find nothing.
I mean, we're also aware of girls on Tinder under the age of 18. I mean, if that isn't being policed, how are they going to crack down on predators? I don't know if that intent is there.
No, well, see, that's the thing. For me, the intent should have been there to do this historically. Why are we only doing it now? Dating apps have been with us for many, many years. They have been problematic for many, many years. This is not new. And as you said, I'm regularly dealing with girls in high school that are on Tinder. So they're not policing that very well. I'm not sure how well they will do anything else.
And look, Susan, we should make the point that, you know, you can meet wonderful people on Tinder, and for a lot of people it's the only way to meet someone is through a dating app. Just very quickly, like your top 3 tips on how we can protect ourselves.
Yeah, and of course not everyone on dating platforms are dodgy, we know that. Check as much as you can about the information you are given. Run it through Google, do a Google search, go at least to a page 5 or 10, not just the first page. Do a reverse image search. So take the photo that they're using. It's really easy. You'll find the instructions on Google how to do a Google reverse image search. You will see if that photo has been used elsewhere or if it actually belongs to that person. And make sure when you meet them that you let someone know where you're going and meet in public. But as we know, often the first few meetings are fine. They will gain your trust.
It's what happens after.
And it's what happens after.
Appreciate that, Susan. Thank you.